He's been stealing a lot of the money from the Nexus bank account.
Most times, another Viz guy did that, the bass drum fell off the prop.
Alright, what's up? It's your boys, D&E.
D&E.
Back again.
You're here for the D&E special hour.
Coming to you live, D&E special hour. Bim, 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 bim.
You better buckle up.
Better buckle up or get out of the kitchen.
Can't handle the heat, you better buckle up.
So yeah, we're back. Thought it was kind of fun.
Same night. Literally 2 minutes later.
Hour later, it's about 12:05 a.m. on let's get an exact date. Saturday, March 28th, 2020. We decided, since we talked about our high school marching band and kind of how we met, we'll talk about where we became really good friends.
Yeah.
And talk about our indoor experiences, and then after that, probably talk about drum corps and maybe the entertainment stuff we do. You with college, me with Bulls.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're going to talk about WGI. We marched a total of 14, 15, 17, 3 years together? 3 indoor seasons.
3 independent seasons together, yeah.
So I marched for my indoor experience. We can just list them off because yours is a way bigger flex. For indoor, I marched with Nexus Indoor for 2013, 14, and 15 seasons. Pioneer Indoor for 17, 18, and then we rebranded into Pi Percussion for 2019 due to the Pioneer Outdoor downfall and just everything surrounding that. We just wanted to separate ourselves from the organization while still being able to keep the alumni base, which I thought was a genuine thought.
Yeah, no, and Pio had a big thing with Pi.
It was our thing.
Part of the brand.
And then, Mr. Danny, what is your experience?
Well, we marched together in Nexus in 2014, 2015, and then I went to Pioneer Indoor first. I'll say it first. In 2016, and then Eddie joined me in Pioneer Indoor in 2017, along with Mickey. That was a fun year.
That was a very fun year.
It was bad.
It was fun, though.
Yeah, and then after Pioneer Indoor 2017, I went and joined the Visual Ensemble with Rhythm X in 2018.
Great show.
A lot of fun. Yeah, we got 2nd place in the world.
We'll get into that.
A lot of fun. And then the year after that, I stayed with Rhythm X, but this time I was in the front ensemble, played vibes. And that's my indoor, 6 years.
What's your X number?
My X number is 506.
Guy knows it. So we'll start at the top and go to the end. We'll run it.
Yeah.
So after my freshman year of high school fall program, the percussion director there wanted to start an independent ensemble in Illinois because all that we really had at the time was Green Thunder Percussion, which later turned into Cavaliers Indoor after a couple years. I think in 2015 they switched over. And our first year, there was also Nuclear Reaction. They were an A-class ensemble. Yeah. So we just wanted to create more outlets for the percussion community in Illinois, which I thought was really cool. Thinking about it now, it's really cool. At the time, I was told it's marching band, but inside, and that's all I knew.
Yeah.
We didn't compete in WGI. We were strictly regional. I think there were 4 shows, and at the 4th show was the only time we competed with the only other group in our class, Nuclear Reaction, which folded the following year.
Did they beat you?
They did, because we got a timing penalty for our electronics not working. Without that, 0.2 penalty, we would have won. Our only competition.
You're telling me Drop would have won, beat somebody else?
Yes.
For real?
100%.
But
it was... We'll get into it.
Okay.
So, I was told it's like marching band, but inside just drums and a front ensemble. And I just did fall band. I loved... That stuff was great to me. I made a lot of friends through it. I thought it was a great atmosphere. And so I decided to try it. I go to auditions. They tell me we have a drum kit spot waiting for you. I've never played drum kit. I played electric bass for years, but that was about it.
Yeah.
So after a couple on rehearsals, I kind of figure out this isn't for me. I can't do drum kit. Let me talk to the electric bass player. And I convinced him to let me switch with him. Hey, this isn't going to work for me. Mm-hmm. I just need to play something I'm familiar with.
Yeah. So you played electric bass your first year.
I did. It was fun.
And so both your first years of marching,
I was in the front ensemble. Those were my only times in the front ensemble. Never held mallets, never did anything because I had to. It was just like...
Always on Team E, huh?
Yeah. So I joined that, and we started auditions. A bunch of other schools are coming along. I didn't realize it wasn't just the Providence Catholic High School indoor percussion program.
Yeah.
And later on, years later, it was described to me that a nexus is described as many things forming into one, which was thought to be the different high schools in the area.
Yeah, it was
coming
cool.
into one thing. It was a really cool idea. In our first year, 3 staff members. All of them taught at our high school, and they were just kind of agreed to come along. Burl, the executive director, Brian, the battery coordinator, and then Kelly, the front ensemble coordinator.
Kelly. Oh, yeah.
And that was it. 3 staff members. Not all of them could be there all the time. Drill was in-house, written by Brian. At rehearsals, like he would set up a table while battery was getting like reps in. Kelly worked just kind of technique stuff a little bit. I don't remember because I was there for the party.
Yeah.
We were getting lit as a 13-year-old around high schoolers.
Freshman year of high school.
Yeah, the prime time. And
Sharknado in the band room.
the directors kind of did a lot of behind-the-scenes work. And we were a moderately okay ensemble. For our first year, Illinois, not WGI competitive, we were okay. We were scoring like 60s, 70s.
I've seen worse.
Yes. One of my best memories from it was how, since we had so few staff, it was just everyone at full ensemble pretty much all the time, never efficient rehearsals, and it was dot to dot for the battery, so the front ensemble brought a deck of Uno cards, and we played Uno for about 2 or 3 hours. It was great, and it was just a funny time, because if we took it serious, there's no way we could get away with that.
Yeah.
We went to like a clinic, 2 competitions, and I didn't know what indoor was. I'm seeing these high school groups. I'm seeing Green Thunder at that time. I'm just thinking, wow, these other high schools are really good. Why do they look so old?
Why do they all have beards?
Yeah, and I didn't know any better because no one told me what WGI was. I was just coming along for a ride.
So yeah, Drop. That was the show, right?
Drop. It was based around things dropping. Our ballad was water droplets. You just hear bloop, bloop, bloop. Our closer started with the whistling of a bomb dropping into an explosion. And it was
It's kind of cool.
The music made way more sense with the theme rather than any of the drill or the uniforms.
I didn't hate the music.
The music was okay. I think we bought it from someone. Mm-hmm. It might have been Viz Audio, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've really only marched Brian Harmson shows.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, we do that. We botch our only actual competitive show with one other group because our audio took too long to set up, and we got a penalty. Without the penalty, we would have won.
What show was that? That wasn't the Minoka show, was it?
That was at the Romeoville show. Because I remember there was a weird door above some room, and I see the door every time I go there for rehearsals for Pio. And yeah, we leave the season on pretty good terms. A lot of people want to return because we all had a good time. We all wanted to get better, and anyone in the program was really a private lesson student of any of the 3 instructors.
Yeah.
So then 2014 comes along. We add probably 7 or 8 more staff members.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of new people, like a lot of really good, like fresh talent came in.
Yes. A lot of friends telling their friends at their high schools, check this out.
Yeah.
This is really cool. The director's getting out there doing more, like, not publicity, but just like going to high school saying, hey, this is what's going on in the area.
Getting more people to know about it. And it got a lot of good talent. So the jump from, 2013 to 2014 was...
The audition process was insane.
Yeah.
In 2013, we took everyone. In 2014, we had to cut probably, 20 people?
Yeah, didn't you get cut?
I did get cut. We'll get there.
Okay.
Yeah. A lot of the same staff, or the 3 staff members are still there. Along with a lot of new people, a lot of drum corps people, a lot of indoor people from the area, friends of friends. And now since we have all this new talent coming in, there's a lot more competition for any spots.
Yeah.
I decide, you know what? I just did my first season on tenors at my high school. There's no reason I shouldn't be good enough to make this group.
Yeah.
I just spent a year here. Well, I go and audition for tenors, and I got cut. They tried putting me on cymbals. It just wasn't my fit. I want to play a drum, and that was a very hard-headed mentality I had back then.
Yeah.
I definitely think I should have considered it a lot more, but I left mid-audition because I didn't want to commit to it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's where my story partially ended right there for Nexus.
Yeah, I remember thinking that you weren't going to do it for a little bit. Mm-hmm. And being kind of relieved because you didn't like me. But I'd gotten a spot, so...
What'd you play?
I played Vibe 2.
You did, Vibe 2.
Vibe 2 and Glock. And I'd played Xylo and Glock the season before in marching band, high school marching band. So it was like the Glock was following me everywhere. They literally took it off the Xylo to mount it on the Glock, to mount it on the Vibe. So that was fun. Outside Vibe. It was my first year ever holding 4 mallets at once.
Oh, okay.
Because I never really got taught that as a xylophone or Glock player. And yeah, that's kind of what paved the way for me doing what I did, going out to do what I did, and I was really bad that year. Looking back at the videos, it was really bad.
Yeah. Throughout that season, I remember just going back home, just thinking, man, this sucks. I'm not doing this thing I just helped found.
Yeah.
I have all this gear, I have the member jacket, I have the patches, and like I built this ensemble. I really wish I could do this. So you guys do a winter camp, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, winter camp, one of the quads during water break just left and never came back.
What?
I think that's how it happened, right?
That happened?
I'm pretty sure that's how it happened.
I was probably too oblivious to know that.
No, I think he just resigned. He just couldn't do it.
I know he just like that we had a quad player and he left, but I don't know what the deal was.
And it was what, December or January maybe?
Yeah, it's later.
Mm-hmm. So then all of a sudden, ring, I pick up my phone. Hey, Eddie, can you come back out? We need to fill a quad spot. We'd really appreciate you to come out and like fill this for us. Well, of course, Mr. Nexus Man. If I would be irresponsible to not take this spot.
Yeah.
So I take this spot. I'm really bad because I just got the show. And Indy was in, 3 weeks? I remember it was like super soon after I joined. Yeah. And I still didn't know all the music, but they threw me out there. Uh-huh. So there's videos of me at the Indy Regional just playing the wrong rounds. Not playing at all. And it's pretty cringy to watch.
You weren't the only one not knowing your music, though.
Oh, yeah.
Not me, but marimba player.
Yeah. Who eventually got cut afterwards, right?
Then got cut after that very competition.
They almost cut me, too. Again.
Yeah, I think I do remember you saying that.
Yeah. There's like, oh, yeah. Well, I was told many years after, we considered, after that show, really letting you go again because you just weren't stepping up to the plate. But luckily you did get there.
Stepping up to the plate, you're also a sophomore in high school. Such a very short time, and it was your only second season ever marching quad.
I was standing next to 2 college kids.
Literally, Dave was gonna age out next year.
Yeah.
And Alvin was also in college, so and he went to Vandercook, didn't he, or something? No.
You're thinking I marched with Steve that year.
Steve, yeah, Alvin was 2015.
Yeah.
Steve went to Vandercook, though.
Yes.
And he's a good musician. And
so I had my work cut out for me. It was just I had to grind, nose to the grindstone, try figuring this out now.
Yeah. And especially when you're a sophomore in high school, you don't know what you're doing.
And then to build on top of that, that was the first time the group had ever competed in WGI regionals. Yeah. We did not go out to Dayton that year because we just weren't financially stable enough.
Mm-hmm. We did do Indy.
Mm-hmm. No buses. We were just taking 8-person passenger vans. That's where you and I kind of became better friends, along with one of the staff members.
We would converse with that guy the entire ride.
Yeah, it was a really good time.
Remember he crashed the van at the gas station. He scraped the van on the side.
I forgot about that. Oh my god, it was right on the side for a while.
The barriers.
Yeah, that was insane.
It was hilarious. That was the same guy told us an hour-long joke. In that very same car ride.
No, I hated that. I lost an hour of my life that I could have been sleeping. Our show was strictly business. Yeah. Based off the movie Office Space.
Yeah, there were actual quotes from the movie in it. Mm-hmm. And it was funny.
It was a very entertaining show. It wasn't hard to pick up at all.
No, yeah. And
just looking at the talent and just the musicianship from 13 to 14. two totally different ensembles.
Yeah. Oh my God, the shows are so different.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's hard to tell that it's like the same ensemble.
The tarp's even square.
Yeah. In 13, we had a Hooters ad as our tarp, but we just flipped it over.
It was a billboard, wasn't it?
It was 3 billboards taped together.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. It was bad because when we'd have to fold it up to leave, it would be fold the bottom part up. Hooters, crabs, 12 for 10 or whatever. I don't know. 12 for 10. It was just like a random Hooters ad, and every time we folded it was kind of embarrassing. But now we had like a just black double-sided vinyl tarp.
Which we used for both years.
Yes.
So yeah, Strictly Business. Did we talk much in Strictly Business?
I think that's where I started asking you, hey, do you want me to drive you to lunch?
Yeah, because we started going to Taco Bell and things like that.
Yeah, because I was just, I don't know, with having older members in my section, it was hard for me to like kind of vibe and groove with them. So I'm like, let me just talk to people I go to high school with, because this ensemble was filled a lot with the high schoolers from Providence, especially Danny's class of high schoolers.
Yeah, it was a lot of us.
I think it was like about all the percussion, right, of your
pretty much most
grade.
Of us who were in my class were in Nexus.
Yeah, so it set us up well for the fall seasons, but I tried getting closer with them just because, well, I'm going to see them all year round. I want to have some friends I'm going to keep in touch with, not ones that are going to go to college and have other stuff to do. So that's where we started like really chilling. Yeah,
we just vibed really well.
Mm-hmm. We found out we were super similar. A lot of the same jokes.
Literally.
And yeah, it was a different year. It was definitely like a lot of us got much better at understanding why we should do this activity.
A lot of my inspiration came from the sleepover that we did.
I was not at the December one.
One of the sleepovers we did, we woke up to the first drum corps show that I ever saw was Carolina Crown from 2013.
Really?
Yeah, we woke up to that one, and I was just like, what is this? This is crazy. And also the indie regional was a big thing for me, because I remember specifically seeing Rhythm X there.
Mm-hmm. Legacy was there.
Legacy and MCM.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember vividly remember seeing them there, and it was just like,
that was like our first real experience of WGI.
Crazy,
like, I can be that good if I try.
Yeah, like the things that they're doing, like, wow, this dude's like tightroping in his show. These people are playing behind their backs.
Yeah.
Like, on marimba, like what? Like, that's insane.
I remember that we housed with Legacy, and it was just so crazy to watch them perform their Newsies show. And we were just walking through like this rectangle ass window, just like trying to peep through 8 or 9 people. All of a sudden, they go on a water break, and a snare quadrummer comes up to the door. Hey, you guys want to just come in and watch? Like, you guys are more than welcome to just hang out for a bit. And that, like, meant everything to me. Yeah. Because I love the idea of these older members, or just, like, these more experienced members, giving something for the younger kids to want. Yeah. Like, this is something you can achieve. This is a very doable thing.
I think I've told you this, but do you remember in 2019 of Rhythm X, we housed the same place? The same gym that we housed Rhythm X. Yeah. I housed at Nexus with Legacy, and I was just
Isn't it just like so crazy?
It was so nostalgic. It was like,
we were there in PIO 18, and it was just like so many memories are brought back just by being in the same place.
Or going back to the same competitions. Like, Indy is one of those places, because I've been there like every single year that I've done this. The next year, it's a good transition. Good, yeah. So 2015, the show was called Medusa.
I got a spot, my first audition. I almost got cut, but I did beat out someone, so we were good.
I, again, was on vibraphone. That was a fun year.
Again, more progression that year, from 13 to 14, ridiculous. 14 to 15, even crazier. Different staff, not for any specific reason, just different rotations of people.
Yeah, some people stopped.
It's just like, I think they had a better fit for this ensemble, in a sense. They had, like, they knew what they wanted to give to the group.
They had more of an idea, and like the people who they brought in were more like specialized in that way. They'll bring more of certain aspects to the table, as opposed to just like having one person for all of Viz or drill.
Yeah, like they knew we were A-class and what we were trying to accomplish.
Yeah, but some questionable people were brought in that year as well.
Yes.
So
are you talking staff or membership?
Both.
True. The same guy that dropped the year prior on the quad line, we contracted him again, so it was me, my center Dave, a new rookout, Alva. Yeah. Missed that guy. Yeah, and then the other guy that eventually that dropped out the year prior. That was the winter camp that we were doing. We get sent to water. All of a sudden, he doesn't come back. And then he comes back the next morning. Hey, guys, I'm really sorry, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
So we were back down to 3 quads the next year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Surprising that they took him again.
Like, hey, this guy already kind of quit once.
Yeah.
You're going to let him back? He was an okay quad drummer.
But, I mean, it was a new group, and, like, even the staff was learning. So.
Yeah. It was a totally new quad tech.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Medusa, we really got close.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. No, not even a question of, hey, Danny, you want to come with me for lunch? Just, okay, guys, go to lunch. Hey, Danny, where do you want to go?
Yeah, where are we going? T-ball again?
Yeah.
Right. Ticky Blicky, you know? That was a very fun year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hold 4 mallets that entire year.
Really?
Yeah.
What else happened that year? We competed at Dayton, Ohio for the first time in the groups, the ensemble's history.
In world championships.
Yeah. The group made finals our first year at A class. And at that time, it was only a prelims and a finals. There was no semis.
Yeah.
So it was a 2-day event. So there's way less groups. But we still made it, which is an accomplishment.
It was big for us, especially being our first time there.
Especially for being Illinois.
Yeah, having no talent in Illinois, basically, like, really at all.
Yeah.
Compared to Indiana or Ohio or Michigan.
And that was really the first year we got some older kids in the ensemble. We got a couple age outs.
Age outs, yeah.
Yeah, we had just kids in college. Because the years prior, it was mostly just high schoolers.
We had people coming from, like, Indiana and stuff.
Yeah,
like,
it was...
Our drum set player came from Indiana.
We were getting way better at that point, and it was really cool to see. Should we mention what happened with the director?
I think it's only right.
So, the director was the same for 3 years. He was also our percussion director at our high school.
Yeah. He was like, almost like... He was very close to us.
Yes. And all of a sudden, we find out he's been stealing a lot of the money from the Nexus bank account.
Yeah, like, the fees we paid toward it, like, he's been embezzling some of it to just pay for, like, dumb stuff.
Like Panera Bread, his vet bills.
Porn.
Yeah, there were some cam websites.
Hotel rooms.
And we saw the bank records. It's just, like, crazy stuff to see. And all the legal stuff has been taken care of. But after 15... we were, like, set up to be such a great ensemble in 2016.
Really, yeah. Like
sponsorships from IP.
Yeah, we were going to
Zildjian, I think.
We were going to have, like, a full...
Ear racers.
Yeah.
Like, things were being set up for the future.
And so he gets... Like, the people in the board of directors, they decide to press legal charges, right? And so he's obviously kicked out of the board.
Of Nexus.
Of Nexus, and... in terms of Nexus, they just decided to stop the operation of it altogether.
Yes, the ensemble ended up folding mid-summer, and no question of it coming back. It could not come back.
It was really messed up because this guy being our percussion director in high school... like,
he was still with us
We still saw him, like, every day.
Yeah.
And, like, when this all happened, like, when the word broke, he specifically told me, he, like, lied to my face about what actually happened.
I was off at drum corps at that point.
Yeah. He had told me that, like, he had gotten kicked off the board of directors of Nexus because he had to cut a kid in 2014 because of this actually happened. The kid got cut in 2014 because he was showing nudes of this girl.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, somebody told, and, like, so he got cut for that. And what this percussion director told me was that he had to get stepped down from the board of directors because this kid was, like, pressing charges, and it was just, like, some sort of legal stuff.
But when you know the kid he's talking about, no way he would do that.
Yeah, I was just like, that really doesn't make any sense.
The kid kind of understood.
Yeah, it's like, you know, he knew he was in the wrong, and it just didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I accepted it as fact, and we didn't really find out the whole truth until later.
Mm-hmm. I come back from drum corps, and all of a sudden this guy pulls me at the first rehearsal I'm at. Hey, there's some stuff coming out about me and the ensemble in Nexus. None of it's true. I'm going to be here, like, for a while, like at Providence especially. I'm going to be here. And then he all of a sudden takes out an advance of pay and then stops showing up.
Yeah.
He also lied to us about marching Vanguard 89. Like, Phantom of the Opera show, like, one of the drum corps years. Like, that's a show.
They won, and it was, like, a really, really big year.
People still watch that show to this day.
Yeah, like,
and he tried telling us I marched that year. Along with Jim Casella and, like, some big names.
Yeah.
And we looked it up. He never marched there. We contacted some people. They don't recognize the name other than Jim Casella saying, oh, he bought some of my music once through TapSpace. He runs that site, right?
I think so.
Yeah, stuff like that. So it's like they know of him, but they never marched with him, and you don't forget the people you stood next to for a summer.
Yeah, drum corps. No matter how long it is ago, like you'll know. If you march with the person.
I could tell you the Dutch man's name I marched with in 2015.
Yeah,
like you just kind of don't forget those people.
It's hard to believe that was 5 years ago.
Yeah, so he just lied about all this stuff, and well, the ensemble folded. So in 2016, audition season rolls around. Danny and I had some new goals that we wanted to achieve, being Pioneer Indoor. They were just coming off of back-to-back silver medals.
Yeah, and their 2015 show was really like one of my favorite.
I still watch it to this day.
All-time favorite shows. Like there's like judge tapes of like judges in the Hall of Fame saying that it's the best show that they've ever seen. Grab me a beer.
I got you.
And like literally like the shows that they did like brought people to tears and like.
There's judge tapes of them crying, right?
Yeah, like literally, like crying on the tape.
It's about grief and drowning at the same time. It's crazy.
5 stages of grief. Like it compares it as an analogy to drowning.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, me and Eddie and a couple other people who were in this Nexus group went to try out for PIO in 2016, and
well, I got cut again.
Yeah,
because that was just a super vet quad line coming back.
Yeah,
it was four vets of just different years that they marched, but it was just kind of clear when you walk in the room, they have their quad lines set.
So yeah, well, I was the only person from Providence to get contracted in 2016, I guess.
Yeah. If walls could talk.
Yeah, if walls could talk. We ended up not doing that well compared to the previous years, but we did make finals, which was fun.
Mm-hmm.
At Worlds, and we won a couple of big regionals as well, like Mid-South. When it was still Mid-South.
Not Mid-East.
Mid-East. Yeah. That was a big year for me. I got a lot better that year because...
That was a mean staff that year.
The front staff that year was like all from Madison Scouts, and the Madison Scouts front ensemble was really good around that time.
Mm-hmm.
And they like, I just really resonated with like how they talked and how they taught, and I missed them a lot, but... Yeah, they were great that year, and I grew a lot and got a lot better, especially. And yeah, some of the people there, like the reason like why I tried like so hard for some things, and why I just like committed myself to the activity. Going
back to like Nexus, you and I are some of the only people still marching out of that group, or that were still marching the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Just because, well, Nexus was some of the only outlets for people. It was one of the only, like, affordable places.
Literally, and like, with us being better than most of the people at our high school, it was some place to go for us.
Yeah.
And, like, it was, like, high school band sucked, but we at least have independent Nexus to look forward to.
In a couple of months, we're going to be doing winter band.
Yeah.
It'll be snowing, and we get to march inside. But, yeah, after that left, you went to PIO. Anything you got from there? Any random stuff?
Is the people that was probably the best ensemble, the front ensemble I played in until I got to Rhythm X in 2019 in their front.
Well, you guys had some mean players on that board line.
We had some people like a lot of people marched drum corps from that.
A couple stars dudes.
Yeah, Blue Stars. Our center Marimba marched Phantom.
Mm-hmm.
And our drum kit player was this black guy who laid down a fat beat. Big D,
my guy.
DeAndre, who you play with on Bulls now.
Yeah, great guy.
Who's no longer Big D, he's Skinny D now.
He lost a lot of weight.
Skinny D.
Every time I see him, I'm like, dude, you got to give me your diet. What's going on?
Did he ever tell you what he did?
No. He says, hey, I just got to eat better.
What does it mean?
He's like, yeah, I just kind of go and exercise more. I'm like, okay, so eat better and exercise. I can't do those.
It's hard, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2016.
You guys got 12th at finals?
Something like that.
You guys made finals semi-comfortably.
Yeah, and honestly, it was very disappointing to all the vets in the ensemble. They were very upset that we got 12th because they just came off a year where they got second. So that played into the following year, 2017.
Where no one came back.
Literally nobody came back. I got moved up to Marimba. And
I re-auditioned. I was section leader for the quads because it was an all-new quad line.
Literally everybody knew, and the snare line was pretty different.
Only one vet on the snare line.
Yeah, basses.
2 vets on the bass line.
2 vets. Oh yeah.
And then symbol line was, I think, all vets.
Yeah, because the symbol line was huge in 2016.
Yeah. 2017 show, I think, had a lot of potential. I loved the show concept.
I really did like the show.
The show was called Lucifer, about the fallen angel of God.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like his beginning to end journey.
It was like a dark show, and it was angry, and it was so fun to perform.
We had a Lucifer character who started as an angel on a 3-story scaffolding talking to this godlike figure of light.
Yeah.
And then he gets casted off the scaffolding, falling onto a giant foam mat that's behind a prop so you don't see it.
Like, he literally free falls.
Yeah.
Which is, like, I had never seen really in a show before.
It was so cool. Like, it had a lot of potential. Just, I think the notes were a little too beefy.
I think that the notes, in terms of the music literally was just, like, loud in your face, and, like, it really was not dynamic or musical at all.
There's no ballad.
But that's really what the show was.
Yeah.
And at the same time, if I'm a judge and I see, like, a group of, like, semi-high school, semi-college age players, like, oh, they're all playing Forte, I'm going to be like, you guys have no dynamic contrast.
Yeah, where's your 3-inch at? What's going on?
I think that's more on the writing of the show than it is for us, because, like, if we were to had been told to play not entire like letters of the show at fortissimo.
Weren't the bars hitting the resonators?
Yeah, literally, like the marimba keys would, like, bounce off the resonators and bounce up so high that they would bounce, like, and hit the keys, like, in the next, like, level
like
up.
The flats,
keys,
yeah,
the black keys, like, on the piano, yeah, they would hit them, and, like, I can't tell you how many mouths I broke that season, like, an unreal amount.
It was such a cool show though. Like, I can still rewatch it and say that is something cool that I did.
It was very fun.
We did not make semifinals due to a 1 or 2 point penalty from us not moving our trailer, because I guess WGI staff told one of our staff members, and the staff member never relayed that to the truck driver.
That's the other thing too, is we got penalties in 2016. That's also why we didn't do very well.
Yeah, a lot of timing stuff.
Giant ass timing penalty. But we didn't get a timing penalty in 2017, I don't think.
It was just the truck. And without that penalty, we would have made semis. I don't think we would have made finals, but
still, I mean,
still just like another performance.
Yeah.
We did pretty okay at regionals, because at that point in the season, all the judges are like, we'll give you points for stuff you don't have yet.
Yeah, or like, you'll get better.
Yeah.
Nobody's really at your competition.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Mickey on the snare line that year.
Mickey joins that year.
Yeah.
Because I convinced him after the first audition, you should come out, and then they gave him a spot at his first audition.
It was a lot of fun, yeah.
Yeah. I was given section leader because I had 2 years of drum corps under my belt, and no one else had done drum corps indoor yet, and I had 3 seasons of indoor.
Yeah.
And it was just super hard. All these other section leaders are all vets, and I'm just trying to figure out the process.
Yeah.
But also lead these 3 other goons of mine.
I mean, the front ensemble section leader was such a mess. Like, she literally got cut mid-season the season before.
Really?
Yeah, because of, like, whatever was going on. I don't even remember. But she was playing marimba, and she got cut, like, half through the season, and then she came back, and they made her section leader and sent her marimba. And it was just, like, what? And, like, she was so, like, a BS for a lot of it. But I like her a lot, but, like, she's not a good leader. And it caused a lot of problems because we were, as a front ensemble, we were very inexperienced compared to the one before.
Yeah.
Like,
I would say
not even close.
From 15 to 16, it was probably like an 80% vet ensemble. 16 to 17, it was probably like a 20% vet ensemble.
Easily. Like, we had people on the vibe line who would, like, never marched before.
Yeah.
And
there was just, like, also a lot of headbutting in the battery. Just, like, there's a lot of people that just couldn't march with each other. One person in particular is starting a lot of beef with a lot of members. So it's just hard with that kind of stuff going on in the background of the ensemble, because the judges don't care if you can get along with someone. They just want to hear how fast your flam drags are.
Yeah, they want to hear cleanliness.
Yeah. So it was a good fun year, though, because that was we were lucky enough to march another year together, and that's where we thought this might be it.
I did think that was the end.
So did I, 100%.
And
we had a good time.
It was fun having Mickey there, although that was probably the worst experience I had had marching up until that point.
Really?
Like,
how so?
Because, well, in Nexus, I was too inexperienced to know that I was having a bad experience.
You didn't know any better. That was the best for you.
I had just came off Pyre 2016, which was a good ass time. And like I was hanging around with a lot of people who knew how the activity worked and like did drum corps and all that stuff, and like they were really good at the activities, like knew how it worked, and I was like, that's really got a lot of my vibe from. And then like 2017 came around, and it was a lot, like especially in the front, like it was a lot of really inexperienced people, and like not just people just not knowing how the activity could go, like how you can have fun and get better and just like be good at the same time, like just people like sitting out blocks and things like that. It was just like very, and like especially in terms of staff, like some of our techs like just kind of I just like they literally just got lazy. They did, like one in particular had personal stuff going on in his life, and the other one I had was also going through like medical school, and they were just like not around a lot, and they were not very. They would get easily frustrated with us because we were bad, and it let me down a lot because I knew the potential that front ensemble could have had, and I knew where we had been the year before, and it was a big drag to be like finally stepping up in the ensemble and playing marimba, like my first time in a marimba part, like in an independent ensemble in 4 years, and it's just like kind of not going too well.
Yeah.
And like
I never heard that side of it.
A lot of blocks were hard because just certain people wouldn't hold up their end of the deal, the contract they signed. It's
like a lot of people try really hard at auditions, like that's the best they're gonna get.
Yeah.
And then once they get handed the green sheet of paper, just all right, they're checked out, which really sucks.
But it's not, the experience is not all about the actual rehearsal.
No, it's like it's the people you get to know.
It's a lot of the in between.
Yeah.
And that's
like, what are you doing at lunch?
I remember from that year.
That was a very fun year to perform. Like, we got to make our own, if we wanted to, we got to either purchase or make our own devil horns that we wore during the show.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was a very cool aspect of it. It was a lot of people having to figure out how to glue them. I eventually super glued them to my forehead.
Glue them to your forehead.
Because they wouldn't stick.
I just had mine on like a little like string.
The uniforms were pretty whack, but they were worn together. They were pretty cool.
My nipples were showing.
We wore fishnets on our chest.
And like the girls, like they'd like.
You would just see their straight bra and everything. It's like, all right, well, we're not being very modest.
Everything's out, and like they were like aware of that, and the girls were like, so we're just gonna have like our boobs out, and like they were like told like, yeah, we're trying to go for some general effect points this year. When
we started the season, the director says like, okay, the show's called Lucifer. Does anyone know a super ripped like 6-pack black man?
Big black man is what he said.
And then a couple of the guys in the ensemble like, we know a guy, and they brought out our Lucifer character, and that he fit the description.
He was great.
Such a good guy.
Yeah, Marco's great.
And he did such a good job. Like, he has a video out there of him with a GoPro on, and I didn't realize he was like acting. He was yelling. He
was in that. He was literally Lucifer
like,
in that show.
It was so cool. He wore just leather pants to show the transformation from God's perfect creation to he thinks that this devil thinks he is God himself and trying to control his own things.
He really killed that part.
Yeah,
no lie.
It really had a lot of potential to be something great.
And that's why it was also so upsetting to not do well in the end, because I felt like that was like the first show I had really, really enjoyed performing.
Yes. Because it was so easy, like, just be angry. Got this.
And our last performance was such a joke where, like, people forgot, like, our drum set player forgot his bass drum pedals.
And mics.
And our Lucifer character forgot the giant, like, apple of Eden he holds up at the end of the show. So he just held up an orange.
The orange that they give you at the end of the competition. Like, and then some of the prop people forgot the bars they were taping gold at the top of the scaffolding. So that's also member endangerment. Luckily, they didn't penalize us for that because we had other stuff.
It's literally just like all just got left behind at a housing site, which like had never happened like really.
Yeah,
before.
Just a bunch of people dropped the ball, and it was all said like, you take care of this apple, you take care of this. Yeah. It was just a lot of individuals just dropping the ball, and it was so upsetting that a lot of us had to suffer for the few mistakes. Like, they knew they were missing the apple, but never brought it up until we were in the tunnel, basically. Which is so ridiculous.
We would have known, like, had we done prelims and made semis, but we're not that high up, we would have known we weren't going to make finals. So we would have made that our last performance. But the fact that we thought we were going to go on just made it so upsetting.
2 years prior, this ensemble is back-to-back silver medalists.
Like,
the year prior, you guys were more than comfy into finals. You guys were okay. You guys weren't worried.
We were taking it as an off year.
Yeah.
Like, the show was they kind of copied and pasted from the year before, and the concept was a little abstract, so maybe people didn't really get it. But like Lucifer, I was like, people will get that. Like the show's pretty easy to read.
Yeah, but with all of that going on, stuff being left behind, stuff being forgotten, penalties, we just didn't have the luxury of making semifinals. Yeah.
On somebody.
Mm-hmm. We stole the Atlanta Quest snare hype.
Oh my god, yeah.
So
that story's gonna come out now?
Yeah, so this high school, Minooka Community High School, a lot of the staff was the same between Pio and Minooka, so they asked the ensemble if we could help out, take them down the tunnel, because for anyone that's been on the UD tunnel, it's a very steep hill for anyone.
It's literally like a 30-degree decline.
Yeah, so they asked if we could help. So we went to their lot before their finals performance, watched a bit, and Danny all of a sudden spots on top of the ice cooler outside the ramp. Is that the AQ lot hype, the wingnut sign? And me and Mickey were like, oh my god, that is. So we took it, put it in our bus, under the bus with all the stands and everything, brought it back to the hotel and showed our snare tech, who was our battery coordinator. And he came in the room and he said, I've never been more proud of you guys. If we can use this for next year, that'd be awesome, because I know the snare tech out there. Yeah. He would think it's so funny. And then some of the people that forgot the props or the scaffolding the next day decided to be good people and took the lot hype and gave it back to them for finals. We were so upset. I still have that picture of the AQ hype in our hotel room.
Yeah, I have those Snapchat memories.
It was such an upsetting time.
On our bed. That's fun though. That's a good story.
That's a good WGI story right there.
And
that's wholesome.
Like people know that like the sign went missing. Like the snares really don't know that somebody like really what happened.
Yeah, because we haven't really told anyone outside the ensemble.
No, not many people know.
They just know that 2 people from Pioneer Indoor returned it.
Yeah, I never asked questions like why did people from Pioneer Indoor have our sign?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, before we move on to 18, we're going to take a quick break real quick.
I'm down for a break.
All right. We back.
All right. It was a good break.
So now we're at 2018?
Yeah. The year where we split up.
Yeah, because you decided to be really good and go to college and then do Rhythm X. And I decided to stay at Pioneer Indoor.
Yeah, let's hear about that. How was Pi?
You want to do Pi first?
Yeah.
So I go back to Pioneer Indoor with my good buddy Mickey. We are both centers that year. He is the most experienced vet. I am just returning. So we do that. Him and I are also on like similar wavelengths where we've marched so many years together, sitting next to each other, just like living near each other. You just get on the same wavelength and know how each other want to drum. The show that year was My Life in Boxes. It was okay. I feel like it had a lot of potential, like every show does.
Watching that show, I didn't hate that show. I like it.
If we got rid of the last like 30 seconds to a minute of that show, it would have made a lot more sense. Just because we tried adding this element of... Let me just start the show description. It's based on a play with the same name, My Life in Boxes. It is about a woman who is moving because she is terminally ill.
Yeah. And
she has to move and just sell all her worldly possessions, and as they're moving, they start digging up the shadow boxes in her attic, garage, or whatever, learning that all the life she's gone through or has experienced. So as we go through this show, we open up each box, going through each stage of her life. The childhood, the adolescence, and her pretty much like early 20s, maybe late 20s age of like adulthood. Yeah. And at the end of our indoor program, we try incorporating this random area of she's dying. We didn't talk about the death at all. It was just a show about moving, and then a nurse over some speaker saying, we don't have any cure, they're going to die, we can only hope for the best. And then all of a sudden, this person dies, and then we become angels somehow.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that transition. So yeah, the last 30 seconds to a minute, everyone has always said, this is just hard to understand. I don't get why this is supposed to be a thing or how it's supposed to make sense.
Yeah.
Just keep it about moving. And it was really cool. We had cajones that were supposed to be shaped like, or that were painted like boxes on the props. Mm-hmm. And we had many judges' comments saying, what are they going back to reach for the... Oh, they're cajones!
You know,
it's really neat.
I did not hate the cajon feature.
No, it was pretty cool. There used to be like sextuplet splits, and before it was just changed into like straight accents for everything.
Sextuplet splits how? Like you have 2 sextuplets?
No, it'd be 3.
Okay.
Yeah. So just like go down and up the lines.
Okay.
So it wasn't bad. But just it wasn't achieved the way we wanted it to.
Yeah.
A lot of the membership did not return. Pretty fresh quad line. Well, it was only 3, so 2 of us were vets. Snare line was pretty new. Bass line was also very new. Front ensemble was very new.
You're where was Taryn in that bass line? Was he 2 or 3? Or wasn't Beryl 2 that year?
Beryl was 2. I think Taryn was 3.
Yeah.
Because Adrian was 5.
He had played rack the year before, and
he was a very motivated kid.
I mean, I guess it's pretty consistent for like Pioneer indoor rack players to go to bass drum. I mean, because Logan did the same thing, and he played rack in 2015, and then played bass 2016, 2017. He was killer at it.
Yeah,
he was really good. And then I know Taryn, he has a good work ethic, and he wants to be really good. So,
yeah. So it was just a lot of things didn't line up. We just tried going with a different visual direction. Got rid of our visual designer. Didn't really go our way. A lot of the plans weren't really conveyed from staff to students.
Yeah.
And we tried making the best of it. We did end up making it to semis that year.
It's better than the year before.
We did make it one more show.
How was were you guys excited that you made it into semis, considering the year before you hadn't?
Yes, because we really thought we were going to make it into finals. Like, just barely. We had the hopes, because that's what the ensemble was known for.
Yeah.
But we come back from semis, and all of a sudden, hey, we have a meeting at 7 in the hotel lobby. And it's just, hey, guys, don't worry about rehearsal. We didn't make it. And it's just like, it's a somber moment, because the ensemble, once again...
Suck.
Yeah.
You don't get your finals run.
Yeah, like, everyone wants that one last time, and but you don't know when.
Having gotten that before, it's like, it's hard to not have it again.
Yeah. What else happened that year?
I saw you guys at competitions.
Yeah, that was like one of the first times we got to see you in actual uniform at X.
Yeah.
Mickey and I got even closer, like just linked brains of, okay, how do we want this rehearsal to run? Are we going to be fun people today, or are we going to like really buckle down because we need to get better? What?
Would you guys get food like a lot?
Yes. It was always me, him, and then we would add people in the back seat of his car. It was always Wendy's for lunch, Chipotle for dinner. Every weekend.
Wow. Like both days?
Well, Friday was just sectionals at night. And then I had a crew sleeping at my house, so I would just book it home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not a whole lot happened. Not a lot of stories, just... We made the best of what we could. Definitely one of the... My years of Pio, it definitely goes like 17, 18, 19 of years of preference of what I liked and what I didn't.
Yeah.
Because I think 17 was just so new to me. It was so great. 18 wasn't that much worse. It sucks we didn't make finals. But I feel like we had a really good staff set, like, to want to teach us.
Yeah. Yeah.
But besides that, there weren't really, like, any outlying stories. So in 18, you go to college, and...
Yeah, I decided to try out for Rhythm X and see how that went, and then ended up working out, because I got a spot in the visual ensemble, because I guess they liked me, but I definitely wasn't good enough to be in the front ensemble. So, visual ensemble spot for me. I had only marched one season ever of marching band, and that was on snare drum at a Catholic and private high school. So, I was pretty inexperienced for my position, but it was a lot of fun, and I had a lot of fun with the people I met, because a lot of the people in the visual ensemble were people that marched, like Blue Coats, Cavaliers, Blue Stars.
You guys didn't really stop getting Viz ensemble at the end of auditions, right?
What do you mean?
Like, at the end of auditions, months after, you guys are still pulling people in to be on the Viz ensemble?
No, so what happened was, after auditions, after I got cut from the boards, the visual ensemble was literally just me and 4 other girls.
Okay.
And then they wanted to bring in other guys. But then what happened is they got a second guy, a third guy, and they were trying to find a fourth guy. So they had all of us reaching out, and
notice I didn't get a text, but okay.
They had all of us reaching out, and what happened was 2 guys said yes at the same time.
Uh-oh.
So you can't really be like, no.
Let's flip a coin.
Yeah. So they brought in the 2 guys at the same time. So now we had 5 guys and 4 girls. So they brought in a 5th girl, Casey, who was a vet from the year before. I loved Casey.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, with dues like X, for Visual Ensemble, are you guys paying the same amount?
No, we didn't pay the same amount because we didn't have to go to the same amount of rehearsals. Like,
really?
I didn't have to show up until Christmas camp.
Okay, and then what about these people that are showing up way later? Like the 4 other dudes. Are they paying the same amount as you guys?
Those guys were in by Christmas camp. I was going, like, from auditions until Christmas, like, not going to audition. Not going to rehearsals. So that's why I didn't have to pay as much.
Gotcha.
And, like, those guys were recruited in that time period, so they didn't have to pay the same amount, so.
You want to talk about that process over there?
What do you mean?
How you guys learn stuff at Visual Ensemble Land? Because I feel like you guys definitely learn very differently from the rest of the entire activity.
Well,
and I can only imagine the Visual Ensemble.
I was hardly a visual ensemble.
It was your second time marching, right?
Because, well, one, the guys just didn't do much visual ensemble things. Like, we had some kind of dancey moves, but, like, other than that, we didn't really do much. We kind of just moved props, and, like, I played a couple instruments in the show. And like we were pretty much just prop movers.
Mm-hmm.
Like they needed people to move. They were like 16 props, individual props on the floor plus Zach's drum set.
Yeah.
So like they needed people to move the drum set, move the gong and bass drum around, move the 5 snare drums around, or the 5 hi-hats, the 5 bass drums, 5 tom-toms. So yeah, that's that. Like it was just so interesting because we had a few dance moves, and I don't know how to dance at all. I'm so awkward and
for sure
sticky. Like,
sticky.
I got baguettes for like limbs. So
you want to talk about the impact you made on WGI in that season?
The impact I made on WGI. Yeah.
How you had your own fan base.
Yeah, I guess I was a broom guy, and then it was that was.
How did that happen?
Full credit to Zach Hudson for that, because how it happened was during that same part, I used to jump on Zach's drum set as the other Viz guys pushed the drum set along the floor, and I would give Zach bunny ears because he really wanted an action shot like that, and well, we got it. And then, like, there's like, an extra access video of, like, me giving bunny ears to Zach.
So is this, like, competition 1, you guys immediately get it?
Yeah, so, yeah, that's what happens. It was, like, first or second competition, like, we get it. And so, like, staff's like, okay, you gotta do something different. And I was just like, okay, well, what do I do? And, like, Zach's like, read a book. I was like, okay. So I had, like, this is in rehearsal, and, like, the next rep I did, all I did was, I was like, read a book. And then I just stared down at the book the entire rep, and they're just like, "Okay, you can't do that either." And I was just like, well, "What do you want me to do?" And they're just like,
when you say they,
I mean like the Tims, Tim Fairbanks, Tim Jackson, Andrew Markworth, like the designers of the show.
They're always at rehearsal, like telling you guys what is cool and what's not.
They're designing like literally what we're doing, how the direction of the show, everything about it. So like, they were trying to decide what I should do at that moment, and they just couldn't. Like, they told me not to give Zach bunny ears, not to read a book. I was like, what do I do? And they're just, like, shrugging their shoulders, like, I don't know. So the next rep, I just, like, stared at them, and I guess they thought it was, they thought it was funny, so they just they didn't say anything. They just moved on. So that's what I kept on doing. And that there was a competition. There's videos that exist of me just standing on the back of Zach's drum set, just, like, staring into the audience.
Did you look at anyone specific? Look for judges?
I looked specifically at, I think it was Josh Brickey and Andrew Markworth, because they were laughing. I looked at them, I could tell they were laughing when I just stared at them. And I was just like, I gave them, like, I'm looking at you.
Oh, like the pointing your eyes to their eyes?
I'm looking at you during the show, and there's a video of that happening somewhere. But yeah, after that competition, they're like, okay, you need to be doing something. And, like, our rehearsal space had like a storage closet, and like there was a broom in it. So Zach's like, "What if you curled the drum set, like sweeped out in front of it as the other guys were pushing the drum set, like it's a curling stone?" And I was like, "Holy shit!" And I did it, and I had like the designers loved it, and it was just like they just left it in. It was what it was, and there was even a broom toss in there.
And all of WGI had heard of you.
We customized. We bought a broom that like matched the colors of the show, had red bristles, and we taped it up special. Yeah, and then like I'd like signed like body parts, and
so like after competitions, what people are coming up to you? Are you the broom guy?
They're just like, broom guy. I had a guy ask me to sign his thighs, like his upper thighs, like in the middle of a blizzard.
My favorite memory is at WGI finals when I'm just hanging out with you at your finals lot, like, hey, I'm super proud of you, can't wait to put you to your thing. And all of a sudden this woman comes over, hey there, I'm a band director, I also marched Rhythm X in whatever year. My students would hate me if I didn't get a photo with you. The broom guy, right?
Yeah.
And then she looks at me, can you take the photo for us? And Danny with the smuggest look.
I was so happy when that happened.
Because if he told me that happened, I wouldn't believe him.
I knew in that moment, I was like, I got him. He can't deny me now. I was like, this is it. This is my big moment.
I couldn't believe it. And at that moment, he was the broom guy. People can still like mention it, how, hey, did you see Broom Guy of 2018? Yeah, he was curling the drum set, right? It was great. It's insane that like what people remember from that year.
Mickey asked a question.
Okay.
Danny, what was your mindset going to X rehearsals the first time? Like being surrounded by the talent that makes up X, how was the transition from open class to a top world group?
That's actually a very good question, especially being from an open class ensemble, private high school. Like you're marching with some of the best marching performers at that time. What did they score in 17? It was they got 5th, right?
They got 6th.
6th. They're still some of the best in the activity. And here's Joe Blow Danny coming with a broom.
I did not expect to be a part of that line. Dude, that line, like the snare line that year was very good. A lot of good names in that year. Robert Coe also says he's my biggest fan, and I love you too.
So, like, what was your mindset? Like,
it was...
For those of you not clear, we're also Instagram living right now at 1 a.m., so
yeah,
people are here.
It was incredibly intimidating, and I was so nervous because, like, just knowing the people that were there, I was a big tot, like, and I would watch videos, and I, like, knew people's names from, like, the previous years. It was just very, very intimidating because, like, they're just, like, literally, like, in my mind, they're, like, untouchables to me. Like, they're like somebody in a video.
Like, they're the people you see in movies.
I can never even compare myself to you.
Yeah.
And it was just crazy to be in, like, let alone, like, be seeing them, like, competing with them, but, like, be in the same ensemble with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just so much fun, like, and being able to be friends with them. Like, me and Ryan Ellis became close, and some people I still talk to, like...
Which, like, to me, those are still people in the videos. Like, those are people that I might never know on a personal level. I might see them once in a while in a blue moon.
You know people from the pit a little bit more.
Yeah, like, I'll play the PlayStation or whatever with them. Like, that's fine. But I didn't really believe that you guys were all friends until we go to DCI 2018 finals lot for Crossman. All the X guys, Danny, what is up, my guy? And they start hugging you.
Shouting at the people, like...
and it's like, oh, he actually knows all these... Like, they are friends. They are actively, like... good buddies, and I'm impressed.
And that didn't really happen. Like, I was classic me. It didn't come out of my shell until, like, it was, like, halfway through the season.
For sure.
And a lot of that was due to Corey.
But I'm sure, like, everyone grasped onto your energy immediately, right?
I got a lot of energy from them and
True.
From Corey.
Yeah. So your mindset going in, like, these are just, like, incredible musicians I'm about to perform with, right?
Yeah.
When do you think you finally got comfortable? Like, what was that moment of, I'm actually in Rhythm X, this is my season, I will be known for being part of the 2018 program?
I think when I became Broom Guy, and, like, and we were all at Bargo's, and, like, a couple, like, people, like like snare drummers, like Ben was one of them. He like came up to me and was like, you know, like you've like literally like left your mark on Rhythm X already, and it's your first year.
Really?
It's your first year, and like he's like it's taken me 4 years to leave my mark, and you've done it in your like rookie year, and you're a freshman in college. Like that's so crazy.
That's some really kind words
I was
to
just
hear.
like, that's so wild to me.
Yeah.
It was like never in a million years could I have dreamt that. Like it was awesome. And also hammered Tim Fairbanks, pushed me and Arjun together, a BD snare player together when it was a very awkward moment.
I think one of my favorite things is for MIPA, the Ohio circuit, you not only got a gold medal, but you got one for your broom.
Got a gold medal, and it's still on the broom to this day.
And then after you guys, because you guys got silver that year, correct? For WGI, sorry.
Yeah, MIPA, we always win gold.
After
11 years running.
After your banquet, everyone signed the broom with their numbers.
Yeah, I still have that broom in my room down at college.
That's really cool that you kept the broom and people just decided to sign it.
That's what I wanted. And they signed a wet floor sign too. I don't know who got that.
Okay.
And all the drum heads, like the little like vintage looking like RX drum heads that were on the drum set bass drums on the floor. People got those too. I don't know who, but those would have been sick.
When did you guys like kind of realize you guys had a product? Because I feel like anytime someone tells me about an X story of the year that they did really well, the whole season they don't think they're doing well.
Because we knew we were doing well. People really don't like that show too much.
In 18?
It was just.
I thought it was the bee's knees.
It was so hectic that year.
Well, yeah.
That's just like all it was, and it still is looking at it. But like we were like really behind it because we were scoring so well. Remember, like I was like sending you the scores like every week. I was like, we're first this week.
Yeah, like I can't wait for WGI. We're killing it.
Like we've been first for like multiple weeks in a row. And yeah, that's when I was like, wow, we're really doing something here. Classic RCC comes out of nowhere.
And just decides to play a trumpet over you guys.
I decided to bring in a trumpet player. Whatever. We just have bass players playing vibe solos and snare players playing vibe solos. That's whatever.
So my one and only time for WGI finals, like being on the floor for a treat, was 2015 in A class. No one's on the floor, or no one's in the stands. Yeah. No one's really there, especially performing in A class. When I got to watch you in 18 at finals, that's one of the loudest audiences I've ever heard being inside of it.
Same.
And watching everyone just like cheer for you guys after retreat. What's that energy like?
It was...
Do you think like from indie regional, like just some bandos in the backfield to like Dayton, Ohio finals night, like what's that energy from the audience? Like what does that do?
It was unreal. Like when we initially walked out for finals, it was just like so electric.
Was it?
Like I just started like hugging everybody. I was just like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
My hands kept like rising up.
I need 2 mugs.
But yeah, no, it was like literally like, because coming from open class finals, like
it's still not even that packed,
at all. Like world class finals is like literally like they had to expand seating like year to year.
Yeah, because like everyone's done at that point. This is it for drums. If you don't have free time at that point, it's because you're performing.
Or you've gone home. And a lot of groups do that because they stay to watch the world class groups.
Yeah. So, like, just energy at that. Now, when you guys get announced in second place for the match, what's that like?
Well, it was a little disappointing because, we wanted to win gold, but at the same time, we were like, hey, we also did really fucking well.
Yeah. Like, you can only be so upset about it because you're still getting a silver medal.
Yeah. My goal, when I was in, like, PIO, when I was auditioning for PIO, I was like, I want a medal. And I was, like, in PIO the entire time thinking that I was, like, I really want a medal.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really upsetting to me in 2016 when we got 12th, especially the past 2 years when we had got 2 medals, 2 silvers.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure we were going to get a medal, maybe even first in 2016. But to go through 2 years of, like, 12th and then not making semis sucked. And then to go to Rhythm X and get second in the world, it was just, like...
Mm-hmm.
Literally a dream come true.
And it's like, it's one of the shows that will be remembered.
Yeah.
If that was the first, like, you guys really pushed the activity of everyone's a performer, everyone's marching or doing something on the floor.
I mean, at the time...
No tarps.
At the time, it was one of the top 10 scoring shows of all time. Which it's just literally mind-blowing to me that, like, I was able to be a part of that. Still.
Yeah.
Like, I still can't really wrap my mind around it.
Yeah. My favorite memory from that year, is at finals, me and Mickey decided to sit down at this area. We couldn't tell you where we were sitting because you didn't have your phone at the time.
Yeah.
So we're, I think, second or third row with some high school A-class ensemble. They bought a block of seats, but we took 2 seats, and security's coming to kick people out. Like, you don't have tickets for this, leave. And we're ducking our heads so they don't kick us out because we just want to see you perform. Like, that was all we wanted. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go up to the nosebleeds for RCC. I don't care.
Mm-hmm. You and then crazy seats.
you guys start doing your stuff. You start spinning all the things during the rock out section with Alex's guitar solo. And when you like caught eye contact with us and pointed at us, I nearly burst into tears. Like, my best friend's doing the thing he loves the most.
Like, it's so crazy to me that I literally found you guys like in the middle of my show.
Yeah, there was nothing I could have yelled. I didn't even say your name because I don't want to distract you. This is your time.
It's literally like I just noticed you guys sitting there. I was just like, when was it? Like I was it.
You were hiding behind the bass drum.
And that's when I deep throated the bass drum.
Yeah, you put the whole mallet in your mouth.
The whole thing.
And you can kind of see it in the one, like, 1080p cam of it.
You see me go down.
Yeah, you just see your head bob down, like, that's the part. That's where it's happening.
A lot of hidden gems in that show.
Yeah, and it's just, you point at us, you start performing for us. And that's one of, like, that was a big motivator for how I started marching my career, the rest of it, is make someone else's eyes light up. Yeah. This isn't for you, this is for the people around you that are getting to experience it.
Yeah.
Make someone feel great about their day. Because that was life-changing for me. You decided to change part of your show just to perform at me.
I was so... Thinking about it, it was so dumb to do that because...
Oh, 100%.
Literally, like, what I did was I spun... We were spinning... Like, we were supposed to be running around with the bass drum... excuse me. The bass drum props. And, like... I had never done what I did, and I like spun the bass drum prop, and I just stood and I pointed specifically at you, and I like let the bass drum spin, and like most times another Viz guy did that, the bass drum fell off the prop.
Yeah.
Like, flew off the prop.
Well, if you look at everyone else, they're like kind of focused on what's going on with their prop, but also like taking in the moment of the nosebleeds of all the high schoolers, and it's just you pointing at someone to your left, and it's like, who is he pointing at in the front row?
You can literally see it in the video.
Yeah. It was one of the greatest like moments that I've got to experience as a audience member.
I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, because like every year after that, I'm like, okay, how can I make little Timmy's day? I signed a drumhead for someone in 2018 from the LQ because they wanted it. I'm like, okay, hopefully this kid goes on to be the next me.
Yeah, it was also very easy to do that, being the position I was given, and the nature of that show because
there
was a lot of Viz.
Yeah,
and like even the pit members were doing drill and a part of the Viz. So yeah, that was the nature of the show. It was very crazy and a lot of fun.
Want to move on to 2019?
A lot of good memes. Yeah, still apart.
So you want to go first? I'll go first because you probably have better stories.
I don't know if I can tell any of those stories.
We'll see what we get to. 2019, I go back to Pi Percussion, renamed after Pio Outdoor Folded. Pi Percussion, I convinced my buddy Mickey to come back so he can age out. Yeah. Because he was convinced he wasn't going to march for that last season. Mm-hmm. And after so many seasons, I wanted one more with him. Selfishly, I really wanted that last one. Yeah. So I go back again. I would say Battery had a lot of vets come out. Front Ensemble did not, which always hurts.
It happens, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of the nature. Our
show is entitled Recess, and it was just one of those things where I'm sure it sounded really okay on paper. I'm sure when you talk about it, like, there's so many things we can do with Recess, but when it comes down to it, there weren't that many things.
It could have been done a lot better.
Yeah.
Like...
We had 3 props, a jungle gym, a seesaw, and a slide. And they were okay to play with, but there's only so much you can do. You can only slide down so many times before you're doing the same thing over and over again. Uh-huh. And I just feel like staff didn't communicate different changes or what someone wanted. They were just hoping that people would pick up on it or not say or open their mouth when they tried changing stuff. Yeah. And our writer, halfway through the season, we changed writers from Viz Audio to another person. And
who'd you change to?
After this story, you'll understand why I'm not saying it. He just didn't send us anything. We got our opener in like December or January, and we were told we would have had our 3rd movement by then. And they just consistently wouldn't contact us back, to which we had to switch writers to Derek Shannon is where we ended up. and Derek is writing for maybe 4 or 5 other ensembles. Being the cousin of our executive director, he was more kind of doing, I think, a favor. He was still getting paid, but just one of those things where he wouldn't turn down a chance to write. Him being a snare drummer, the quad beats weren't the most exciting, so we ended up changing a lot of them with our new quad tech at the time, Corey Simonich. Great quad rounds. It was a very exciting book. It was very cool.
Yeah.
There was a lot that didn't mesh that year between staff, students, members, and leadership. No one was ever on the same page. I still hold that group near and dear to my heart. I'm pretty glad I did it. Are there things I wish we could change? Sure. Every year I wish there was things I could change. The people around me were pretty great. I'm glad I got to see my best friend age out. My second best friend. We'll take it easy.
Whoa.
No need to start throwing shade around.
Okay.
But it was an okay year overall. I think I had more fun than I did learn, which is a double-edged sword. I'm paying money to be there.
Thanks, James.
So that's kind of 2019 in a nutshell.
Yeah.
The music was it was original in a sense.
It's good to hear that you don't regret that year.
Yeah. Because it set me up for the summer afterwards, which was a great experience. Like, I would never take away any of my seasons. I would only wish I could march more.
Was the summer after that 20...
That was with you.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my second and last summer at Legends.
Yeah, okay. We'll get to that.
Yeah. But
yeah,
2019 was only okay.
The winter of 2019 for me was...
Where were you at?
For the Mex.
Yeah,
okay. It was the best winter of my life, let me tell you.
That front ensemble was goddamn fire.
That was the best front ensemble I've ever been in.
So let's start. You go to auditions.
Yeah, and it's... Well, I was scared because I thought I could have very easily been cut again. And I wasn't about to do visual ensemble a second year in a row.
For sure, and you shouldn't have had
to.
to.
Honestly. And... Like... Yeah, so they ended up contracting me, and I got, like... I was, like, N Vibe. I also played bass drum and gong. It was a lot of fun. But, like, the things that I remember from that season are like, the people and, like, learning from, you know, some really good minds in the WGI, like, business. Business. WGI activities.
Oh, yeah, you know, the stocks of WGI.
From literally, like, a Hall of Famers in the activity. It's just so crazy.
Oh, 100%. I can only imagine.
Yeah, and having them teach me parts. And the rehearsals, they were not very memorable, to say the least. Yeah. For multiple reasons.
What was the show?
The show is called Linea, and honestly, I might be a little biased, but it's one of my favorite shows that I've...
Do you want to talk about it? Because I feel like a lot of people don't understand what it is.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, it's based off of... It's named after this restaurant that's actually in Chicago, Illinois.
Illinois?
Yeah.
USA, not Chicago, San Francisco.
Chicago, actually.
Chicago.
Yeah, and it's based off of this restaurant in Chicago, and the idea in this restaurant is that the dishes are very abstract, and they kind of break the rules of what you expect in culinary dishes. Like, maybe they just serve you the dish completely on the tablecloth, or, like, there's no plates at all, or this thing that you thought was the centerpiece of your table has been cooking something inside of it the entire time.
Mm-hmm. And it was in a documentary.
It's in Chef's Table, the Netflix special.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should watch it. It's very good. And the idea was, like, there's a lot of, like, deception and just different textures and very different, like, perceptions of how to experience food for the chef's table. But for us, we took it as, okay, we're going to take the ideas of this restaurant and turn it into, like, a WGI show. So you're going to experience different textures and flavors of music.
For sure.
What we did was we had a snare feature that the snares, you couldn't hear them because they were playing on mesh heads. But you could only hear tenors, but you couldn't see them. So it looked like snares were playing tenors.
So at what point, what feature is that?
Yeah, really. That's like, it's very confusing, but it's very exciting, and that was one of the big parts of our show. And that's very similar to Alinea, the actual restaurant, because they do this thing where they make a strawberry, or they make a tomato look like a strawberry. So the customer picks it up thinking that they're going to eat a strawberry, and it's actually a tomato.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at it, you think you're going to get a snare feature, but you're getting a tenor feature.
Didn't you guys call it strawberry tomato?
Yeah, literally. And that's like all the movements of our show, like it's in our show shirt, it's like literally named like crispy, like deception, illusion, like stuff like that.
Palate cleanser.
Yeah, palate cleanser. And yeah, that's basically what it is. And we were all dressed up as chefs, and the pit would dispose of our mallets.
That was easily my favorite part.
Much like chefs dispose of utensils after we're done with it. I mean, like, you're done with discard something, you throw it away, you know?
You don't want to reuse things.
No, you don't. That's because
the customer deserves the best.
Everything needs to be fresh. Exactly. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was easily my favorite year of WGI.
You guys were like the bee's knees of WGI front ensembles.
Yeah, honestly, watching videos now, it's just like, it's so crazy to hear. The Murmuline was carry that front ensemble so hard. It's not even funny, but like, we played pretty well together for the most part.
So like when you guys started after auditions, like first rehearsal, similar question for when you started in 18, but now you're in the front ensemble. What are you expecting when you walk in your first day of rehearsal? Like you signed the contract, you paid your first dues.
I felt a lot better going into the second year because
really?
I was friends with people in the front. And
okay.
And I knew people, and like I wasn't as intimidated. I was still intimidated, and I didn't want to like shit the bed, but at the same time, like I was like still around people that I was comfortable with, and that made it a lot easier.
And at one point, did you guys realize you guys were good?
I don't know. That Murmuline like always knew they were good.
Like first rehearsal, you guys are ripping runs immediately.
It was essentially the same Murmuline as last year, like minus Will, and they went from 6 members to 5 members, so it was minus Will and Dan, and then plus Logan.
Okay.
And Logan's really good, and he's fresh out of high school, so and like he'll be there for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Miss you, Logan.
Rip.
I love Logan. Yeah, but
did you guys get the same kind of hype and love that you guys did the year prior? Because it wasn't as much of a hyped show.
It wasn't as much of a hyped show, but the pit got a lot of love because we were really good. Even MCM staff on record has told us that we were the best pit that year.
Really? Okay.
On record, like
real recognizes real.
Yeah. No. That was awesome, and like past Rhythm X alum were saying like this is the best Rhythm X pit ever.
That's awesome.
And I highly guarantee, if the season this year hadn't got canceled, this pit would have been the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the exact same Murmuline this year.
Yeah.
Plus some vets in the vibes and some new people, but like really like they were playing some hard stuff, and it sounded really, really good.
You guys added random stuff just to like be fun with it. Like you guys played the Pokemon theme, and it sounded really good.
That's because Zach arranged it, and it was awesome because like we had people arranging our lot tunes, like our members of our ensemble arranging the lot tunes.
That's really cool. When you can get membership to like start writing stuff and start like encouraging other members to learn things. Yeah, that's like a really cool experience because you guys are just motivated by each other to start getting better.
Yeah, Robbie Buto, star of Crashy Bongo, wrote one of the lot tunes that year.
One of my favorite memories because in 2019 we were preliminated. If I did not mention that, we did not make it to semis, thus not making it to finals, which is kind of how the story has gone with Pie Percussion. But I was able to catch Danny's finals lot because of it, so I wasn't super heartbroken. I got to see my friend perform at the ensemble he was at. I had an inflatable couch next to me. Just someone brought their bike pump and started pumping it up, and they're sitting. All of a sudden, the Rhythm X front ensemble starts playing the Pokemon theme, da-da-da, and then the battery of Rhythm X starts running through the lot, going back into their warm-up area, and start, like, moshing with each other and, like, shoving each other to get hyped for their last lot together. I thought that was such, like, a great energy and, like,
it's just, like, where else are you going to find that? Like,
yeah.
No other ensemble you're going to see that, really.
You guys take yourself just serious enough, which is something I've appreciated. You guys understand when to, like, turn the switch on, like, we need to start playing well now. Once you pick up your mallets, you can't be bogus.
We really let, like, our talent speak for ourselves. Like, it's really not about how you, like, walk around and you're in character. It's not about your walk around and you're, like, you're just, like, mean. You're just, like, trying to look intimidating. It's, like, really, like, what it comes down to is you're playing. That's what it was in the old days. Like, shows, like 10 years ago, no props. Literally all it was playing and drill, and that's all it was.
Just pajama band.
Literally, and like, that's all it should be.
100%. At the end of the day,
at its core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, you guys just let your actions speak. Like, once you approach the board, all business. Once you put the mallets down, you guys aren't playing. You guys aren't performing. So why try acting in this character?
It's pretty funny because like we're a lot of times like borderline unprofessional, and like I showed up late to my finals lot. If you remember that,
I do.
Because we were supposed to be wearing our jerseys, and I couldn't find it. It's because Alex had it in the back of his Jeep, and I didn't get that back to the middle of the summer, by the way. Some random show, and but yeah, it's like I showed up late to my finals lot, and like they were literally warming up when I was like still like trying to like uncover my vibe and like, set up my symbol.
I do remember you randomly gave me a Klondike bar,
and yeah, they handed out Klondike bars in the middle of our finals lot, and it was just like literally, where else are you gonna find that?
Yeah, it's again like one of my favorite memories, just getting to watch you warm up. Like, this activity is not about the individual; it's about the whole. Like, getting to see your friends either performing next to your friends,
and having fun with the people you're next to.
If you're support the people you're with. I was so excited to just see you do your thing, and we were trying to get you to mess up, trying to get you to tick, just yelling at you the whole lot. But it was like out of a place of love, because we're not trying to like actually get you to mess up.
It's funny to see me tick.
Like, if I'm yelling at someone at Joe Blow in Rhythm Devils or whatever,
Rhythm Devils.
Yeah, they're gonna be mad because I'm just some guy trying to get them to mess up.
Yeah.
But this is my friend. Anyone that asks, why are you getting him to mess up, or asks you, who's that guy yelling at you, it's an easy answer. Like, that's my best friend.
You can hear you guys in the videos.
Yeah.
From that lot,
And every time you would like maybe mess up or just like not play a note, you would just smile and look at us. And it was just like a funny thing.
Yeah.
Because during your show, I'm not gonna be out in front of you.
You're not gonna be screaming on the multicam.
Yeah, and luckily for your show, I was able to help you go down the tunnel. Able to give you those last words of like, hey, super proud of you.
And leaving your alcohol in my fucking...
That was not me.
Microphone.
That was the third person with us.
The both of you.
No.
I associate it with you guys.
Mine was in a water bottle next to me.
So yeah, I performed in WGI World Finals with a water bottle that had some of whatever in it. And
we'll call it whatever.
And it was in my mallet bag, and I like literally like noticed it like mid show, and I was like looking over.
And you had mentioned it before we started going down. Don't leave this in here to both of us. I'm like, yeah, no, we won't.
I knew it. I just knew it. I have such good feelings about you guys sometimes. Like, I just know.
I didn't leave it.
I shit you not, Eddie. Like, today, I had a vision about the balls of my socks falling off, and here we go. They got fucking caught in your stupid practice pad stand.
That's actually Mickey's.
Goddamn. Like, literally, like. But same thing, it's like, I get feelings sometimes, and you know...
That's so Raven, this bitch.
What I'm referring to, when I called it, like, perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah.
Anything else from 2019?
The next 2019 was fucking legendary. I was friends with, like, basically everyone in that ensemble, and the pit was filled with so many homies that I love to this day. And I wish I could go back. Mm-hmm. And hopefully, I do have a bonus year. My goal is to graduate in 4 years, like on time, on my third year, is to graduate, and then I have a bonus year after I graduate, and hopefully maybe do that. But honestly, I don't know.
And for the 2020 season, before it got canceled, you had life to do, so you just decided to take this year off, which is respectable.
I had to focus on school, and I'm definitely taking next year off too.
Yeah.
But the year after that is my bonus year technically, so we'll see where I'm at that point in life.
And then I personally, this would have been my age out year. I just couldn't find... I did audition at Rhythm X. I made it through 2 auditions and then was cut at the last one. And then I just couldn't find myself to march anywhere else. Everywhere around me, I just felt I couldn't grow at the rate I would want.
Honestly,
and for the money it would have cost.
Honestly, it's really tight that you made it to like the last audition.
Yeah, it was,
and you were like pretty much like last cut or something. Like
yeah,
that,
I was close. Depending who you ask, like, I was very happy with where I ended up.
Yeah, no, that's something to be proud of.
Yeah, And I ended up getting to teach the ensemble I've been teaching for 3 years, for my 3rd year, and I hope to be with them for the 4th year. It's just, at this point, I think I am done marching. With this new bonus year that's going on, I am not eligible to march because you would have had to march in a ensemble up to this point, and then you get the bonus year. So I do not. So I am excited to just continue my teaching career because it's for the kids.
And with like DCI getting canceled this summer, like who knows? Maybe the high schools will have crazy good staffs. Maybe they'll be really good.
We can only hope, man.
if things are well by then, this COVID-19 is nuts.
It is crazy. Does not work, or does not help that I work at a hospital.
I hear some crazy stuff about like nurses like working with like all the crazy patients like with COVID-19. They're like breaking down, like crying. Like, do you deal with any of that or see it? Like,
I haven't really seen anyone cry. I have seen people like very concerned, where it's just people reading off the statistics of random states, just talking about how they have either children or elderly parents at home, and saying I refuse to work on that COVID floor, which like that's respectable. I work on a surgery floor, so I don't have to worry about that. I did have a COVID rule out, and the test came back negative, but for the 2 days where I had to work with him where we didn't know, just gowning up, PPE as appropriate, personal protective equipment as appropriate, by the books, and it's just you have to be careful. Because, it's not that it doesn't affect younger people, but we have stronger immune systems. We have stronger bodies, so I would rather put my body on the line versus an older nurse who's close to retiring.
That's good, yeah. It's better.
But off of that tangent, I think we're gonna wrap this one up.
Well, actually, hold on.
Okay.
I'm not done.
Hey, let's take it easy.
Listen, man.
Let's back it up.
I actually wanted to bring up that you were pretty close to marching somewhere this 2020 season, weren't you? Like you were almost at Matrix, Cap City.
I did have a couple places contact me. Yes.
Yeah.
My backup for Rhythm X was Cap City. I did not end up going to any auditions due to just some conflicts and the distance. I sent in a couple videos, but at the end of the day, it was nearly twice as far from where X was, and I was already driving 4 hours for X.
Yeah.
And the gas was about $80 just for X in a weekend.
It's so far. It's from okay, so for the record, we live in like a south suburb of Chicago, Illinois, and I go to school in central Illinois in Champaign, and it's a 5.5 hour drive on average from Champaign, Illinois. And from Chicago, it's about 6.5.
Yeah.
If you drive straight there.
So I was trying to book it, 4.5 hours, 5. And then, Matrix, the staff there asked me if I was able to march, either audition on quads, fill a hole for Viz, rack, or set, drum set, Cap City. Some part of me wishes I tried a little more, but it's just a money thing that I couldn't commit to.
It'd be so inconvenient, and like knowing what you know now, you're very glad you didn't do it.
Yes,
your season would have gotten canceled. So
Genesis reached out, Freedom reached out, a couple of Freedom members reached out, and it's just I couldn't bring myself just because of money. I wanted to really start working in this hospital, and I wanted to start just getting my life a little more together and teaching.
It's sooner or later, like you're gonna have to leave this whole thing behind, like whether you want to or not. You're aging out, so like.
I want to start just focusing on teaching from here on out.
Yeah.
If I were to have marched anywhere, I could not have done that.
Dude, you should go march DCA.
Hey man, I'm down for Kilties. You want to march there?
So you've never auditioned anywhere but the places you've marched for, really, except for Rhythm X.
Rhythm X and Colts.
But that's drum corps. We'll get
we'll get to that. But for indoor, I did march I auditioned at Pioneer Indoor in 2016 and got cut. Yeah. And then Nexus 2014, I auditioned and got cut.
I mean, I just wanted to put it out there for the record. I've never been cut. I've turned down ensembles every time.
For the record, I agree.
The winter of 2016, I almost marched Cavaliers Indoor.
I remember that. They offered you a spot on Glock.
Glock, yeah.
But you turned it down for Pio.
Yeah.
Which I respect.
That was a good show. I could have marched that show, and like they made world finals. And
you just felt that you could learn more at Pio.
That would have been a big thing. I just felt Cavies was very cliquey, and they were all a lot older. And marching drum corps together. Whereas Pio was more my speed. It was it was definitely a lot closer.
Good step up group.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, drum corps I auditioned for, and
we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Well,
I think that's that.
On that note, you want to stop this and maybe talk about drum corps now?
That's basically 6-7 years of WGI in a nutshell.
That's how Dan and I really became friends.
Between the two of us, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right.
We appreciate it, and we will.
It's 1:40 in the morning. Still hammered, for the record.
All right. See ya.
All right. Later.